Welcome to week 2 of X's and Omar. I am Omar Kelly, kind of the host, or who's now...
You are the host and the namesake, Omar.
who's return... I don't even know how to say this, but I have sort of graduated into the host role of the show. I am here with Sentinel columnist Dave Hyde. We are recapping the Dolphins' 7 hours.
We're going to speed it up a little. We're going to do the 7-hour show.
Yeah. 7-hour, 27-20 victory over the Tennessee Titans, which was an impressive victory for me from a number of standpoints. Primarily, I didn't expect the Dolphins to go toe-to-toe with a physical team, but somehow they managed. What were some of the surprises that you saw from that game, Dave?
Well, the surprise, you mentioned the offensive line, I thought, for the first time right from the opener, it looks like they have a good offensive line. Not great, but capable.
I will allow that from the standpoint that Dolphins didn't have the unicorns in 2016.
Well, I said from opening day.
Okay, from opening day.
But to me, what won the game, I know you're going to go running game here, and that was very nice. 92 yards in the first half. But what won the game is dynamic big plays. That's what put the game out.
Really?
Ryan Tannehill, 75-yard touchdown pass, the longest since his rookie year. And Jakeem Grant, 102-yard kickoff return, the second longest in team history. 2 Rashad Jones interceptions. Big plays got the Dolphins the lead, and then they could grind. That's how it works in the NFL. Get the lead with big plays, grind it out.
Well, they didn't really grind it out. They got the big plays in late in the game.
That got them the lead. They were up 10-7. I mean 10-3. It was still a game.
What made it interesting for me was that offense was not efficient. I mean, 2 of 10 on third downs, 1 of 5 in the red zone. I mean, you can't give up that many opportunities to score points and to keep drives alive, but yet they were still efficient. Got to 21 points. 24 is my measuring stick for this offense, but I'll accept 21 points.
They got to 17 because the special team. Are you giving them the special teams touchdown? And then the Rashad Jones set up the last.
No. I'm giving them the Rashad Jones set touchdown that got set up. I do not count the special teams touchdown.
Okay.
That's all Jakeem Grant. But what I enjoyed about the game was the run game. It was efficient. It set up the play-action passing game. That's the way Ryan Tannehill will win in the NFL. And this offense, you could see Adam Gase, I mean, the amount of plays and formations and play action and rollouts that he used, you could tell he had been waiting for Ryan Tannehill for 635 days. and it showed.
Well, and you saw at the same time, you win either personnel, scheme, or the mix of the two, I guess. And you saw a little of each. You saw Gase throw in, flash the wildcat. Flash both running backs out wide. Of course, then Laramie Tunsil has a false start. But you saw him
pistol. Open the game in the pistol.
Trying to confuse.
When's the last time you've seen the pistol in the NFL?
On the NFL, yeah. They're bringing them up from college, though, right, Omar?
Hey, all we're missing is the wing T, and then it'll be interesting to see. I think he was flexing his muscles, an offensive coordinator. He has this reputation as an offensive guru, a quarterback whisperer, and now he's trying to show you, hey, I can do this job.
So the surprising thing to me in the game, beyond the stuff we've mentioned, is what I thought would win them the games. I thought the pass rush. They're up at the lead. They have a lead. The game's
playing 2 backups.
Playing 2 backup tackles, and they really didn't have the pass rush there.
Well, that's not fair because the offensive tackles were being helped out by the tight ends and the running backs. And when Blaine Gabbert got into the game, it was 3-step drop. It's not like you saw many opportunities.
Then you would think there'd be other gaps for people to get pass rush if they're putting that much into, but point taken there. So, but some of the things that I thought Mike Gesicki didn't have a big role. Now he's a rookie, first game, and Minkah Fitzpatrick.
He did have a big role. That interception was big.
Minkah Fitzpatrick, right from the start, he's going to be a great player. Okay, and he was on 65% of the plays. That's going to keep bumping up, I think, as the season goes on.
Our first question comes from Justin. What do the Dolphins need to play like this consistently?
Well, I think we've touched on, haven't we? You need that offensive line to have the push, to be able not just to neutralize, but to open some holes and that was an imaginative running game. Some of the plays that they had, Frank Gore sprung him, and then big plays.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, to me, it gets back to big plays. Tannehill hasn't had a pass 75 yards since his rookie year.
It's not just big plays offensively. I think big plays defensively.
Right, turnovers, we talked about.
When you get 3 interceptions, Rashad Jones, say what you want about Rashad Jones, but he delivers big plays. He might not cover the tight end grade. He might lead to breakdowns on defense, but he'll get you the ball, and that's what you got to want from your secondary.
The one thing they defensively, every team probably in week 1 needs to do, because they don't hit much, they don't tackle much. You saw both teams across the league missing tackles. I'm sure Rashad Jones
he missed a couple.
He missed a couple. McDonald missed a couple. That's going to happen. Now you go to week 2. Let's clean some of that up.
Mig Z, who's also known as NV305, wants to know, is this offensive line better than the Unicorns? See, that's where the disrespect.
That's getting sacrilegious, isn't it, Omar? You think so?
I respected what the Unicorns, Jawan James, Laramie Tunsil, Mike Pouncey, Jermon Bushrod, and Brandon Albert. I respected what they did because they kept Tannehill clean and they opened up the running lanes. Now, I will say this. This offensive line.
One game.
If
after week 3 and 4 we're saying the same thing, then you got something.
And I would like to see them be able to sustain it at the end of the game, finish it off by, that's the true testament of a good offensive line. When you have the lead and you need to run out the clock, can you put together an 8-minute drive running the football?
When the other team knows you're going to be running the ball.
Absolutely.
Right now, and they had 92 yards in the first half, and of course it was such a freaky game to keep halves. And are we playing trimesters or halves or what with the Lightning?
You got to factor in the 2. I also think the 2-minute breaks benefited the offensive line. I mean, they were fully rested. So
the 2-hour breaks.
Yeah, the 2-hour breaks. So it'll be interesting to see what happens as the season progresses. Jake Harris wants to know, what are your thoughts on the D-line's play against Tennessee? Did it worry you that they weren't able to get sacks against backup tackles?
It worried me. Now, we've mentioned that earlier. You're not as worried. It worried me. If they didn't get the sack, somebody else, they didn't.
But they weren't blitzing a lot.
They weren't blitzing.
And a lot of the reason I understand why Matt Burke wasn't blitzing, because when Marcus Mariota was in the game, if you create clear, you have to have a guy spy him. And if you create clear rushing lanes, he's going to scramble like he did in the game and gain a big, put together
Mariota, to me, is a big disappointment whenever I see him live. He has no arm. And his ability to make plays, he's pop gun arm and not making plays.
I disagree with you. I just think he's very unrefined and hasn't done what it takes to get to the next level in terms of understanding what defenses are trying to do to him.
All right, Omar, let me ask you. This is right up your alley. Are the 2018 Dolphins, this is from Philip, more physical or more finesse?
I would have began the year saying that they are a finesse team trying to be physical. Game 1 hinted, hey, we're going to change our reputation and be a more physical team. I liked what I saw. I'm a big fan of William Hayes, and when William Hayes, Big Daddy's in the game, you're different. They have a unit where they have William Hayes and Jordan Phillips on the same defensive line together, and that's a tough line. Now, you can play it for 20 snaps, and it'll give you the efficiency that you need. But I'm excited to see these linebackers provide some pop that brings a little bit more physicality to this defense. And, we'll see if they can sustain it on the offensive line.
Yeah, I'm with you. I need to see more physicality. Because that surprised me out of game 1. The offensive line did it. I didn't see a lot of physicality on the defense. I saw some good playmaking and all that.
Good gap filling.
Gap filling, that's the way to say it.
What will be a great test for them is this week's game against the New York Jets, because
and who would have thought that?
As we know, no. From the physical standpoint, Todd Bowles, Casey Rogers, they build a physical team. They're going to run it, and they're going to stop the run, and they'll be tested at the line of scrimmage.
Well, we thought Tennessee did that, but I thought if Mike Vrabel on the plane home's looking at the stats saying, I didn't run enough. I didn't pound the ball enough. Because you saw at the end of the game, the defense started to wear down.
Oh, if that Derrick Henry run had counted, they certainly would have been leaky. Speaking of run, Game 1 featured the debut of Frank Gore as a Miami Dolphin. I'm a huge Frank Gore fan, as you know, Dave. And Gore is 15 yards away from being 4th all-time, passing Curtis Martin on the all-time rushing list. Can this be sustained?
61 yards a game? Probably not. No,
No?
I don't think so. No. I mean, 9 carries, 61 yards. We're talking.
Efficient, baby.
What's that? Almost 7 yards a carry.
Frank's been efficient his whole career.
You're talking 7 yards a carry?
No, all the time. I think he can contribute 50 to 60 yards a game.
I would say 9 carries a game. That's a good, wherever that takes you, that's a good total for Frank Gore. And that'll get you into November and December, probably with a healthy Frank Gore, I would think. Now, we're talking Danny Amendola missing practice today. We'll have to see what that's officially about, but he played 75% of the time. That's a lot of snaps for Danny Amendola. So as far as Frank Gore maintaining his snap count, especially with Kenyon Drake back there, will be the thing that Adam Gase has to monitor.
Trifecta loved the 2 running back sets and wants to know, how good can the Drake-Gore 2-back sets be for this Dolphins offense?
Probably not. I just don't see it.
You don't buy it?
I'm not as a steady diet, as a change-up. Yes, I buy it. But
Adam Gase runs a 2-back offense. Has run a 2-back offense since his days in Denver. Why aren't you buying this?
Because who's going to be blocking?
I mean...
That's why I'm not. I get, yes, as a change-up. Look, each of them has specific things they can do, but neither of them strikes me as a blocking back.
What I loved about the pistol is it gives you the play fake of the run. You do that with Frank Gore as the up back, and then you swing Kenyon Drake out. Or you could toss to Kenyon Drake. I think there's a lot of versatility there. When you have 2 backs who can do everything, which is what Adam Gase has absolutely wanted his entire tenure here. One of people don't understand his objection with Jay Ajayi, and it was primarily because Jay, was a diva, but couldn't be a factor in the passing game.
I love divas. I love divas.
You do love
right
divas.
About divas.
Yeah. Till you have to handle
Okay,
it.
how much of percentage-wise would you expect to see the 2 running back sets?
I would like
to see.
I would like to see it 5 snaps a game.
Oh yeah, okay, I'm with you on that. I thought you were at a steady diet.
5 snaps a game. No, not a steady diet. Even though the loss of Marquise Gray, that's a tough one because it's going to challenge you to play with a second tight end instead of being in a 21 package, which is 2 tight ends, which is their base package. Now you're down to really 1 tight end and Mike Gesicki, who's a sort of a screwball. So it's kind of challenging Adam Gase a little bit to creates an identity for his offense, and right now, anybody's guess what it could be.
All right, Omar. Speaking of roles, what's Devante Parker's role going to look like in the offense we saw against the Titans? Jay Reynolds wants to know.
That's a good question. Devante Parker practiced this week. He's got a kind of soft cast on his broken finger. From reports we're hearing, he's catching the ball with it, but then holding it with his left hand, holding onto it with his left hand. I think it's a recipe for disaster. I'm more than comfortable waiting for Devante to be healthy in a week or 2 before I put him out there on the field. But Devante's role is to get open against press coverage. He's the big physical wide receiver, not necessarily a red zone threat. Run hard slants, run 15-yard outs, run comebacks, run drags, and give you that physical presence. Right now, with this Smurf unit of receivers, nobody's big.
I was wondering when someone's going to go to the Smurf name there.
I've been trying to use it in the Sun Sentinel for like 2 weeks, and they keep editing it out. These are the Smurfs, okay? They are all small. Kenny Smills, who is a small receiver, he's 6'1", but
if he's your big receiver,
he's your big receiver.
Right.
You have a small receiving unit. Make the best of it. Speed right now is threatening a lot of teams. What I find interesting about this offense is watching how teams defend Jakeem Grant. They're terrified of this guy's speed, and I'm sure it's going to get worse now that he's run a kickoff back against the Titans. You know, he led the team in attempts passes thrown at him. And
it was only, it was 7.
Yeah.
And he caught 5. But this was a spread around the offense. We had an earlier question about things you were impressed by. To me, and we've talked about the speed, you mentioned it. I saw more speed on this field being used in one game than I have in a while.
People are so obsessed with speed in football.
It wins. It wins.
Physicality wins, not speed.
Why not both?
It's important to have both, but I'm taking physicality over speed every single day.
I don't know, Omar. I think speed won that game when you think of the kickoff and the long pass.
It did. But that's against a physical Titans team, I guess. I guess you gotta have a balance.
All right, Spooky Devil. I love that. Spooky Devil wants to know why so many screen passes by the Dolphins offense.
You know, this is important to explain to people. The foundation of Adam Gase's offense. Let's just break this down. Ryan Tannehill gets 2 to 3 plays called to him in the huddle, and Adam Gase tells him, look for this, look for that in the headset. When the headset cuts off, based on what the defense is doing, is the play that Ryan Tannehill's calling. Now, if he sees a wide receiver out to his right or to his left, and a cornerback is giving him 7 yards off cushion, he's going to throw the quick hitch. It's like a running play to Adam Gase. That's part of their offense. Now, the vision is that they'll have better blocking and better guys like Albert Wilson and Danny Amendola who can give you the run after catch. They weren't very satisfied with what they got from Jarvis Landry in the run after catch, and we know Kenny Stills isn't really a run after catch kind of receiver. Jakeem Grant, I would never run a quick hitch with Jakeem Grant because, as I said to you before the show starts, every hit on Jakeem is a highlight reel hit.
So you're down to Wilson and Amendola then, as far as the screens. But I would go a little further than just the number of plays in Tannehill's helmet that Gase gives him. I got that one out slowly, but I got it. It is when you look at what Gase does calling plays, he will give a quarterback a lot of easy throws, and he'll ask him to make 6, 7, maybe 8 serious big boy throws, like the 75-yard touchdown pass a game. The rest of them, he'll scheme and get a quarterback a hot hand, and I think that's part of that too.
Absolutely. People, yes, you're dinking and dunking, but this play is also predicated on the big play. And if they see it, I got a tweet late in the game when they had the lead, and somebody was like, oh, here comes Gase turning it down. And my response immediately before the 75-yard touchdown to Kenny Stills, you don't know your head coach.
Right.
You clearly have no idea who your head coach is.
In fact, it was just the opposite. I thought people were saying, pound the ball, boom, he's throwing deep.
Oh, no. Yeah. That's Adam Gase.
That is, you're right.
He is aggressive. And if you're going to give him a look where he can take a big play, it doesn't matter what the score is. He's going for the big play. And
that 75, to that point, that defense couldn't have been scripted for Kenny Stills running deep like that.
I think he was the primary.
I was saying the defense was perfect for what they wanted to do on that play.
Absolutely.
So,
and they want to make sure teams know when we have the opportunity to take a shot, we're going to take it.
All right, Omar. Up to this week now, the old Dolphins versus Jets rivalry is coming early this year, week 2, up in the Meadowlands. But is this game still a rivalry game for both these AFC East teams?
I couldn't tell you the last Dolphin. I think Jason Taylor might be the last Dolphin who had a problem with the New York Jets. Rivalries are dead in the NFL. Think about your biggest rivalry in the NFL.
Well, they aren't, say, in Baltimore and Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Here's the point. You got to have consequence on the table. These two franchises haven't had consequence on the table in a long time.
At least a decade, 14 years. I would say right now, Buffalo-Miami is a bigger rivalry because if you've looked at the nature of that game for the past couple of seasons, there are consequences to it. Hell, Buffalo's victory against Miami in the season-ending game clinched their playoff berth. Miami's lost to Buffalo up there in Buffalo. Basically put Miami out of the playoff mix. There are always consequences to that game, and I can tell you both teams don't like each other. So to me, Buffalo-Miami is the biggest rivalry for the Dolphins, not Miami-Jets. I couldn't tell you. I think Todd Bowles has the biggest beef with the Dolphins than anybody else in the organization.
Well, you're right, because there's not a developed history between these teams where they're playing for something meaningful.
Channing Crowder's not even there to talk trash to Rex Ryan.
Unfortunately, those were the fun days.
Those were interesting days when Channing was mouthing off and Rex Ryan, who's on TV now, was mouthing back, and a coach going versus a player. He really hasn't been an interesting rivalry.
I don't think Todd Bowles is going to do that.
No, not at all.
And I don't think any of the Dolphins linebackers are going to do that. So here we are, two teams trying to get a foothold into the season.
But it'll be interesting, the way that they beat down the Lions in the season opener. Now, mind you, That was a Lions team that was kind of like Adam Gase's team in 2016. They were implementing a new offense, implementing a new defense, and that Lions team looked like hot booty. They looked like trash.
Sort of like Tennessee. I mean, there are a lot of teams implementing new stuff, but to look that bad, or from the Jets' perspective, for the Jets to look that good, Sam Darnold, where are you going with him after 1 week?
To me, I thought he was efficient. I like the way that he reminds me a little bit of Tannehill, which is weird in terms of being able to stretch plays, moving out the pocket.
They like to move him to the right.
To the right.
He was efficient in the pocket, though, but you're right.
Throwing on the run, throwing a ball across his body, that's ridiculous. So everybody, they teach you that in Pop Warner. Don't ever do that, and that's his first throw in the NFL. But he looks like a quarterback who's going to learn and grow. He's going to remind me a lot of Tannehill in his rookie season. And to me, that means he's not going to win you games, but he's going to put you in position to win them.
All right. Can the offense and the Dolphin offense and Tannehill maintain 24 points per game this season?
That's a question coming from Petey Pablo. To me, that's a recipe for a winning season and possibly a 10-win season. Offense has to produce 24 points.
How many times have they done that in the last decade? Once. So
yeah.
You're right. It's a bar.
But they did it with Tannehill though as their starting quarterback. So
2014, I believe.
2014, I forget what the offensive coordinator's name was. The one that Tannehill hated.
Bill Lazor.
Bill Lazor. There you go. The guy who wouldn't allow Tannehill the audible out of plays. Yes. I think that it's achievable. I think it's doable if you can sustain, if your offensive line can stay healthy and you can protect Tannehill. Think about the pocket presence that he had, or the comfort in the pocket that he had. This wasn't the Dallas Thomas days where the pocket was collapsing.
One sack,
and it was from a linebacker blitz.
Right.
And just they misidentified. That's something that you can get fixed. I think it's promising. I think it's possible. I wrote a column in today's Sentinel about Alex Smith, to me, is the bar for Ryan Tannehill. If he can become that, an efficient quarterback, complete 65% of his passes, a quarterback who throws less than 10 interceptions in a season, the touchdowns, you love more touchdowns, but hey, he produces winning season. That, to me, if Tannehill can do that, become Alex Smith, I think they got a chance to put together a 10-win season.
Kansas City traded Alex Smith because they didn't think they could take him.
And Washington traded for him, gave up a third-round pick, a starting cornerback, and gave him $70 million guaranteed money. So let's not pretend. Yes, everybody wants the young, sexy, new quarterback that gives you hope, injects hope.
He's looking pretty good after 1 week.
Yeah, but it's been 1 week, Dave.
1 week.
One week.
It's overreaction week, right?
Oh, yeah. Look how good Buffalo's situation turned out there.
It's foolish. All right, Tanner asks, are the Jets actually good, and could they be a big problem for us, or are the Lions just bad?
I think the Lions are bad. Matt Stafford clearly started pressing. I watched that whole game because it was just a great quick film study for me. Matt Stafford was pressing and was just throwing crap out there. That's kind of his MO during his career. He takes bold throws. I like bold throws, but sometimes you need a Ryan Tannehill. And the one thing that you need to know about the Jets and Todd Bowles and Casey Rogers, his defensive coordinator, both who have ties to the Miami Dolphins, they're going to be physical. They're going to punch you in the mouth. They're going to own the line of scrimmage. They're going to try to run the ball down your throat. Bilal Powell, I'll tell you this and that. In his 6 games against the Dolphins for the last 3 seasons, he has averaged 91 yards running and receiving. 91 yards. He's only scored 2 touchdowns, but 91 yards. If I tell you that a running back's going to give you 91 yards.
It's not going to be him, I wouldn't think. In fact, you look at the Jets playmakers, and it looks like they have some, but you're just not impressed by their portfolios. The question with the Jets, can they do it again? Can Sam Darnold have a week like that back-to-back as a first-time starter?
Oh, yeah, he can.
As a first-time starter.
Oh, yeah, because defenses haven't caught up to him yet. They don't know his bread and butter. They don't know what he likes to do. He's
21, though.
Yeah.
So, some of it's just him.
It's going to be sustainable for about 5 games. Once teams have 5 games of film on you and start to pretty much build a resume, they know how to attack you.
It's all about adjustments at this level, right, Omar?
Absolutely.
All right, so let's get to how do you try to confuse Sam Darnold? Eric Cotton wants to know.
To me, it starts with Miami safeties, and I'm including Minkah Fitzpatrick into this mix. If you continue to move those safeties around the field like chess pieces, and I'm including Minkah Fitzpatrick, while he did great at the line of scrimmage and played well at nickel, I mean, he was probably the top performer, to me, outside of Kenny Stills, top performer on defense. I want to see him in the back end. I want to see him play free safety because I still have fears and concerns about that group. We know who Rashad Jones is. He's going to give you big plays, but he's also going to give up big plays. TJ McDonald, I liked what I saw from him in the preseason, did not like what I saw from him in week 1. You still are susceptible to giving up big plays, and you need to get that addressed. The problem is you don't have another cornerback to step up.
That's really sunk them as far as their plans for versatility on the back end, isn't it? Because they need him in the slot. And it really, look, if you're going to draft a guy 11th overall, you're not going to say, first year you're going to play in the slot. No, that's not.
But he was the biggest.
I agree. He was great.
He was great. He was a top performer
I've
on
said
defense.
he's going to have as much impact as any rookie going back to Jake Long before the season. And week 1 just proved that out to me. Now, he's got to play more than 65% plays, and he will. And I agree with you. They got to get him to where they drafted him, a versatile guy to confuse the quarterback. Sam Darnold, not that Minkah's probably ready for that right now, but it would be a guy like that you want to confuse.
You got to move TJ and Rashad and Minkah. You got to move them and make them chess pieces where Sam Darnold is looking all over the field for, okay, where's Rashad? Where's Minkah? What do I need to do? And I think Matt Burke has the creativity. He's a Harvard man. Or I think he's an Ivy League man.
You know, half the people who went to Harvard are in the bottom half of the class, too. I don't know where he ended up.
Are you questioning Matt Burke's intelligence, Dave?
No. I'm just having fun with the Harvard.
I want to see some creativity on defense. We didn't see any in game 1, and it was understandable because you had an athletic quarterback. You needed a spy. They were max protecting. But we need to see some blitzing.
I want to see some defensive ends doing it on their own.
You want to see some
I want to see when you got, this is a star of the show, right? These two guys.
Yes, absolutely.
I want to see it.
Okay, well, it'll be interesting to see. It's prediction time. I am going to predict a 21-17 Dolphins victory. I know what happened the last time the Dolphins went up to the Meadowlands. They embarrassed themselves. They wet themselves. It was embarrassing. But I think that this team is a lot more mature. And I know you keep bringing up those 30-year-olds, but
it's September.
It's September. They're fresh. I think you're going to see a big game from Frank Gore. I think you're going to see a big game from Kenyon Drake. And ultimately, the Dolphins are going to, dare I say it, own the line of scrimmage. 21-17 victory.
Well, I think we're on the same page. I'm going 24-20 Dolphins off what I saw in week 1. Now, and off, I don't think a real young team like the Jets, meaning Sam Darnold, can do that back-to-back. So I'm curious. But I'm going with the Dolphins, too, to go 2-0.
All right. Any plans in New York, Dave?
I'm actually going to a play up there, yeah.
Are you? What are you going to
Broadway, see? Dear Evan Hansen.
You know, all the times I've been to New York, I've never seen a play.
Come on, Omar, do it. That's the place. Broadway.
Interesting. If you have plays that you should recommend to me, I'll try to see a play. For X's and Omar and Sun Sentinel, this has been Omar Kelly and Dave Hyde. See you next week, Wednesday at 1 o'clock.